Zion Williamson is one of the most explosive players in the NBA, but a big flaw to his game has always been the inability to hit a jump shot. So today we're giving Zion a jumper and we'll see if that helps him get to the next level of basketball success. And we're going to go ahead and start off by giving Zion Williamson a 90 overall in close range shot, mid, 3-point shot, and his free throw shot. I feel like a 99 overall would be way too overpowered, so let's go ahead and start off by giving him a 90 overall 3-point shot, 90 overall mid-range shot, 90 close range shot, and a 90 overall free throw shot. And then we're going to go ahead and give him a Hall of Fame badge for every single outscoring badge you could possibly think of, and this is going to make him absolutely unstoppable. I did also decide to change his shooting form, which now for the lower base he's going to have OG Anunoby, and for the upper release OG Anunoby as well. Way better shooting form than it was prior. Before we go any further, I'm giving away a copy of NBA 2K27 to a lucky subscriber that likes and turns on post notifications. But I've got some even better news for y'all. I'm also adding in a copy of GTA 6 for another lucky subscriber. Both winners will be selected on the release dates of these games, and best of luck to you all. After all those upgrades, Zion Williamson has jumped up to a 96 overall. We've just created a beast that's going to dominate the NBA for the years to come. We are starting off in the beginning of the 26-27 season, and this here will be our lineup. So in the starting lineup, we got ourselves DeJounte Murray, Trey Murphy, Saddiq Bey, Zion Williamson, and Yves Missi. Off the bench, we have Jeremiah Fears, Derek Queen, Herb Jones, and Jordan Poole running a 9-man rotation. But before we start simulating, we are going to raise Zion Williamson's 3-point shot tendency. Right now it's only at a 3, but of course we want him taking more 3-pointers now that he actually has himself a true jump shot. And of course we want him taking more mid-range shots. Right now it's only at a 1, so let's go ahead and raise that up so he takes more mid-range shots as well. And if you guys don't know what we're doing here, we're raising this, that way Zion Williamson takes more 3-pointers than he would have otherwise, and the same for his mid-range shot. And now we'll start simulating here the first few games and see how we do. The first game is up against the Golden State Warriors, who we do end up losing to, but Zion Williamson had himself 33 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists, hitting 4 3-pointers. And that is already a career high for Zion Williamson, a total of 4 3-pointers, which he has never made in his career, but now he makes in the first game after having himself a jump shot. I do want to make it known that throughout this video, I am going to be pulling off trades to build a perfect team around Zion so he goes out there and hopefully wins himself a championship. But let's go ahead and simulate the first few weeks of this season and see how we do. And there we go. We are on a 4-game win streak. Let's see how Zion has been doing so far. And he's averaging himself 27 points, 8 rebounds, 7 assists while shooting 45% from the 3-point line. Let's go ahead and take a look at our system proficiency. We will be rolling on a 4-star overall system proficiency, pace and space under our head coach, James Borrego. And now I'm going to go ahead and start simulating until the end of this season, but of course, if there are any trades to be made, I'll be stopping here at the trade deadline to show you all. Since we have below 14 players on our team, we do currently have to sign someone that is a free agent, and we can never go wrong with Duncan Robinson, amazing 3-point shooter, so I'm going to go ahead and throw him a minimum, which is all he wants on a 2-year deal, and he goes on to accept. We're stopped here at the trade deadline, and currently our team is a number 4 seed with 32 wins and 17 losses, and we have raised some of our players' trade value, so we could stop here and make some trades happen. Like Jordan Poole's averaging 9 points per game, shooting the ball amazing. There's definitely teams out there that could use his offense per 36 minutes, 22 points per game. Herb Jones has been doing good defense, good offense, 37% from 3, 45 from the field. So we're going to go out there, see if we can make any trades happen, trade away these players while their trade values are high, and bring in some key players that could help us win now. Saddiq Bey should also have himself a pretty high trade value. He's playing amazing, 13 points per game, 47% from the field, 35% from the 3-point line. So let me go ahead and throw some of these players in Trade Finder. We'll try and bring in some win now players, so let's see what we could get back in return. Since Herb Jones has been playing amazing this season, we're probably going to keep him for his defense, but Jordan Poole we're going to throw in Trade Finder and see what we could get back in return, and possibly the same for Saddiq Bey. This trade is just way too unrealistic, so of course we're not going to make that happen, and the same for this trade. Saddiq Bey is definitely worth a first-round pick, and the Detroit Pistons are offering us Paul Reed and a first-round pick. We get ourselves an expiring contract, send them an expiring contract, but Saddiq Bey is ready to sign a contract extension. The Detroit Pistons could definitely use a player of Saddiq Bey's caliber, and we get ourselves a 2029 unprotected first-round pick. For now, we're going to run with the team that we have. I don't want to bring in more salary because we have a lot of players on expiring contracts, and that gives us an opportunity to sign ourselves a big name in the up-and-coming free agency. We have names like Giannis Antetokounmpo, Nikola Jokic, Brendan Miller, a lot of good free agents that we could possibly sign, even Amen Thompson, so there we'll see what moves we're going to make next. And something that completely slipped my mind is we are going to have to trade away DeJounte Murray because he has a $30 million player option. And if he opts into that player option, we're not going to have much money to spend in free agency for one of those big names. All I really want back for DeJounte Murray is an expiring contract and maybe some draft capital. This here's a trade that I would not mind, but I would want a first round pick possibly from the Rockets because I know they could definitely use themselves a player of DeJounte Murray's caliber, and it would make them a much better team. We get Fred VanVleet's expiring contract and the same for Josh Green. Let's see if we can get ourselves a first round pick, maybe a swap best. Whoa, that's 3-star. We're definitely not getting that, but give us a future first round pick. And they give us a counter offer. They want Duncan Robinson. I don't really want to give you Duncan Robinson. What if we give you 2 second-round picks, 3 second-round picks in total? And they still want Duncan Robinson. I will throw you this dude here, PV, and they still say no. They want Malachi Morano for Clayton Dawkins. You know what? Let's go ahead and pull this trade off. We basically get ourselves a first-round pick and a bunch of expiring contracts. After getting rid of DeJounte Murray, that gives Jeremiah Fears a starting point guard role, which is going to be amazing because I've seen him progress all the way up to a 91 overall in the past. Can't wait for that, but now I'll see you all at the end of this season. At the end of this season, Victor Wembanyama goes on to win an MVP, Cam Boozer Rookie of the Year, Lillard Sixth Man, Wemby Defensive Player, Risa Shea Most Improved, Danny Avdija Clutch Player, Jason Kidd Coach of the Year, and the Mavs also go on to win Executive of the Year. Let's see if we get ourselves any All-NBA selections, and we do land ourselves Zion Williamson on an All-NBA second team. Let's go. And is that going to be it for awards? It looks like that is it for awards, and we ended this season as the number 3 seed, winning a total of 59 games and losing only 23. Even though we weren't trying to be a contender this year, we still end up as a top 3 team in the West. And one of our players has hit a very impressive milestone. That player is Trey Murphy III. He's the second only player in NBA history to hit 400 3-pointers. The only player other than him is Stephen Curry. And again, 400 3-pointers is absolutely insane. Throughout all the videos and rebuilds I've done, I've never seen a player reach this many 3-pointers, not even Stephen Curry in 2K Simulation. Now, before we get into the playoffs, let's go ahead and take a look at team and player stats. We'll see how Zion Williamson did here in the regular season. And whoa, Zion with the jump shot was averaging 30 points per game, 9 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 steal, 1 block on 50, 40, 90 shooting splits. That is amazing. And he made a total of 254 3-pointers, which puts him at one of the top elite 3-point shooters in the league. 23 Trey Murphy, 15 Jeremiah Fears, and 11 from Paul Reed. And then when it comes to team stats, we were not really a good offensive team. We were about the 12th best offensive rating team, but when it comes to defense, we were the best defensive team in the entire NBA, hitting about 15 3-pointers per game. Zion Williamson with a jump shot would literally be unguardable. You guard him at the 3-point line, he's going to drive in, slam the ball, lay up, all that. You block him inside the paint, he's going to go out there and hit them 3-pointers like he's been doing this season, which has been very amazing to see. Now in the first round of the playoffs, we are taking on the San Antonio Spurs, and they have themselves De'Aaron Fox, Stephon Castle, Vassell Champagnie, and Victor Wembanyama with an 88 overall Dylan Harper as their 6th man. I don't know if we'll be able to win a championship this year because we are again waiting for free agency to sign ourselves some big names and bring Zion Williamson the help he needs. But for now, let's see how things go. Game number 1, we do end up winning. Trey Murphy III, 36, 29 Zion, and 23 from Jeremiah Fears. Game number 2, we do fall short, 134 to 123. Zion played amazing, so did Jeremiah Fears, but sadly we do end up losing. Game 3, we end up winning. Game 4, we also end up winning. We do not gentlemen sweep the Spurs, and we don't defeat them in Game 6 either. It looks like it's going to a Game 7, and whoa, Zion just had himself 54 points and 10 rebounds, hitting 10 3-pointers. It's time for Game 7, winner go home situation. I did not even think we would make it this far against the Spurs, because usually the Spurs are a very good team in 2K Simulation, but the fact that we pushed them to a Game 7 means that we're a really good team. Let's see what happens here in Simcast. We do have home court advantage on our side. So far we have the lead here, but they take it right back from us, and it looks like we are, whoa, I was about to say it looks like we're going to lose, but we actually end up defeating them in Game 7 by 1 single point. Trey Murphy III had 38 points, 17, 7, and 7 from Zion, and 16 from Fears. In the second round of the playoffs, we've got ourselves a Minnesota Timberwolves, but first, let's see how Zion has been doing here throughout the first round of the playoffs. And he is going off for 34 points per game, 8 rebounds, 6 assists on 60, 50, 89 shooting splits, unreal numbers. And then Trey Murphy III's doing his thing, 24 points per game from him. In the second round, we've got ourselves the Timberwolves, and they have LaMelo Ball, Anthony Edwards, Ayo Dosunmu, Jaden McDaniels, and Rudy Gobert. Let's see how things go here. Game number 1, we end up losing. We win game 2. We win game 3. We also going to win game 4. And are we really about to defeat the Timberwolves to go to the Western Conference Finals? And yes, we are. We end up in the Western Conference Finals where we're taking on the Dallas Mavericks. The Mavs got themselves Kyrie Irving, Max Christie, Marshall, Cooper Flagg, and Derek Lively. Throughout the first 2 rounds of the playoffs, Zion is averaging 32 points per game, 8 rebounds, 6 assists, 1 steal, 1 block, still on amazing shooting splits, 60, 40, 88 shooting splits. Now let's see how we do here in the Western Conference Finals. Game number 1, we do end up winning. 119-100, Zion had 26, 25 Murphy, and 15 from Duncan Robinson. Game number 2, we do fall short, 109-85, Jeremiah Fears 22, 21 from Zion. Game 3, we also end up winning. Whoa, I was not expecting for us to first defeat the San Antonio Spurs and now be up against the Dallas Mavericks. So we're up 2-1 against the Dallas Mavericks. I did forget to mention in the Eastern Conference Finals, we have the Hawks taking on the Celtics. And we also go on to win game number 4, and no, we cannot. It looks like the Mavericks defeat us here 139-103, almost by 40 points. Trey Murphy played good, so did Zion, but our defense was awful. Game 5, we also end up losing, and whoa, our offense here was awful. 82 points, 27 Trey Murphy. Zion and Murphy did their thing. These two have always been balling out. But the supporting cast isn't the greatest, of course, since we are waiting until free agency, and I think this is where it may all end for this season. And no, it doesn't. We actually push it to a game 7. Zion staying in with 44 points, 19 Murphy, 17 Queen. Now we've got a game 7 in the Eastern Conference Finals and the Western Conference Finals. Let's see which team's going to win. The Mavericks do have home court advantage on their side, and whoa, they start off the first half very strong, and it looks like we end up getting eliminated 116-99. I mean, Zion played absolutely amazing, dropping 35, so did Trey Murphy, but we do end up losing. Cooper Flagg, Western Conference Finals MVP, Jason Tatum, Eastern Conference Finals MVP, and again, I'm not hurt whatsoever that we got eliminated here. Winning a championship in the first year of this rebuild without making any positive moves wouldn't really be the best thing, because now it gives us a challenge this offseason to upgrade our team's unit. But now in the NBA Finals, we have the Celtics taking on the Mavs, and it looks like the Mavericks go on to win with Cooper Flagg winning Finals MVP. Now before we go into the offseason, let's go ahead and take a look at player stats and see how Zion Williamson did. So we played a total of 20 games here in the playoffs, and in those 20 games, Zion was averaging 31 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 steal, and 1 block on 50, 40, 90 shooting splits. 45% from the three-point line, again, amazing three-point shooting, hitting a total of 69 three-pointers. And Trey Murphy was absolutely amazing as well. He definitely will stay on our team for the remainder of this video, and the same for Jeremiah Fears. I've got some amazing news for us. I did have to check online to make sure and confirm this is real. So in the draft lottery, the Hawks have the second best odds via Milwaukee, but that pick actually belongs to us wherever it lands. As you guys can see, we just ended up with a 3rd overall pick. Again, I did have to confirm to make sure that's real, and it's most definitely real. That means we're going to get ourselves a top 3 player in the 27th draft. I would really like Tyron Stokes or Christian Collins, but I feel like they're going to get selected before the 3rd overall pick. So we're probably going to go for Brendan McCoy. He's a good 3-point shooter, point guard, could come off the bench unit as our 6th man. In the SN and 2K rank, he is at place number 3, only behind Christian Collins and Tyron Stokes. We're not going to change anything for staff signing, so let's go straight to the 2027 NBA draft and see which player we're going to be able to draft here. First overall pick the Utah Jazz have, and they go on to take Tyron Stokes, the player I would like to have on our team, but of course, I did know he's going to go in the top 2. And the second overall pick, the Magic take Christian Collins, so it looks like we're going to have to go ahead and draft ourselves Brendan McCoy. Let's see his ceiling, and whoa, he has himself an all-NBA Tim Hardaway and a floor Nick Van Exel, so let's go ahead and draft him here with the 3rd overall pick. And then for team player options, we are going to pick up the team option for Jeremiah Fears, Derek Queen, and Yves Missi. Qualifying offers, it doesn't look like we have to re-sign anyone here, and how much money do we have exactly to spend in free agency? Let's see. So we do have a lot less money than I had expected, but we still have about $26 million we could spend. We are now paying Brendan McCoy $13 million a year, which is why we're probably only able to spend $26 million. But what I'm going to do is trade away Herb Jones' $20 million contract, and that'll give us a total of $46 million we could spend in free agency. With that money, we could basically sign everyone here except for the top 4 players. This trade here instantly frees up a bunch of salary cap for us. That way we're able to spend more money in free agency. So we're going to send Herb Jones to the Atlanta Hawks, where we get ourselves their 2029 top 3 protected pick. We also get Daniel Jacobson. And then Daniel Jacobson could get traded to the Chicago Bulls for 2 second-round picks, and that way we free up $3 more million. Now let's see which players we should sign here in free agency. Like, as you guys can see, we're able to offer Kawhi Leonard up to $47 million, but I don't think that would really make much sense. He's 36 years old. We're going to try and find some younger players here. And instead of signing one big free agent, what we're going to do with our money that we have, $46 million, we're going to sign a bunch of good role players. We have enough money to bring in Michael Porter Jr. He only wants about $7 million. And we could also bring Josh Hart back to the Pelicans. And this is a route I believe we're going to go. He only wants $5 million. Let's go ahead and offer him a 4-year deal, paying him about $7 million annually. And then I'm going to decide, do we sign Cason Wallace or do we go another route? We are in need of a good perimeter defender for our starting lineup, but Cason Wallace wants $20 million for only averaging 10 points per game. For $5 more million, we could bring in Ausar Thompson, who's one of the best defensive players in the entire NBA. And I think that's what we're going to do here. Let's go ahead and offer Ausar Thompson a 4-year deal, paying him about $28 million annually. Looks like we do get ourselves Josh Hart on a 4-year $30 million contract and Ausar Thompson on a 4-year $120 million contract. And his team will not be matching, so yeah, we get ourselves Ausar Thompson as a brand new starting small forward. I do want ourselves a bucket getter off the bench unit that could provide our bench with 3-point shooting and offense. Isaiah Joe or Grayson Allen would be the perfect fit, and I think we're going to go with Grayson Allen. He brings that vet experience, amazing 3-point shooter. In this past season, he was averaging 14 points per game. He can also play make when we need him to, so let's go ahead and offer him a 2-year deal, paying him $4 million annually. And it looks like he will be accepting on a 2-year $8 million contract. Let's go. I do want to show you guys this insane overall jump that's about to happen here. We're going to change Josh Hart's position from power forward to small forward, and he jumps up to an 85 overall, which is absolutely amazing. On team player progression day, basically every player in our rotation jumping up in overall, especially Jeremiah Fears, who has now gone up to an 89 overall. As I said earlier, this man jumps up and progresses like crazy in 2K, which I'm very excited to continue seeing. Now here we are at the start of this season with our brand new rotation. In the starting lineup, we have ourselves Jeremiah Fears, Trey Murphy, Ausar Thompson, Zion Williamson, and Yves Missi. Off the bench, we have Josh Hart, Derek Queen, Grayson Allen, and Brendan McRoy running a 9-man rotation. I do feel like this year we're definitely ready for that championship. Last year we were waiting until free agency in the offseason to make changes. Now our team actually looks like some real championship contenders. But now let's go ahead and simulate the first week of the season to see how our team does. We have 3 games and we end up winning 2 out of 3. We do end up losing here to the Chicago Bulls. But we scored 132 against the Sacramento Kings, where Zion had himself 35, 23 Trey Murphy, and 17 Ausar Thompson. But since that first week it doesn't really have any difficult opponents, we'll also go ahead and simulate the next 2 weeks and see how our team does. Of course, chemistry is still being built. And we do end up losing to the OKC Thunder. We're currently the number 7 seed, but I do feel like that will change once the chemistry is built. Starting out this season, we are rolling on a 4-star overall system proficiency, pace and space under our head coach, James Borrega. And now I'm going to go ahead and simulate until the end of this season, but y'all know if there are any trades to be made, I will be stopping here at the trade deadline to show you all. And there we go, we're starting to win a lot more games, and this year our team has made the NBA Cup Finals, where we are taking on the Indiana Pacers. Let's get into Simcast here and see if we can go on to win the NBA Cup. The Pacers will have home court advantage, and so far we have the lead here by quite a bit. Can we keep it? And yes, we can. We go on to win 107-98. Trey Murphy 25, Zion 20, and 14 from Jeremiah Fears, and Zion Williamson goes on to win NBA Cup MVP, averaging 29, 7, and 7. On contract extension day, we do have to re-sign a few players, one of those players being Zion Williamson. We are going to extend him over the next 4 seasons. Let's see if he'll take a little bit of a pay cut for us, making him such a good shooter. And yes, he does. So we end up getting him back on a $44 million annual contract. We do also need to re-sign Trey Murphy, and I will lock him up right now instead of waiting after, where maybe he'll ask for more money. He wants a 3-year contract extension where we pay him $17 million annually, which I believe is a very good contract because he's been amazing, 22 points per game, amazing 3-point shooting. There is one game remaining to our season, and it looks like Zion Williamson is in the award races to winning MVP, but sadly it may go to Giannis Antetokounmpo, even though I feel like it should definitely go to Zion. Let's see which player ends up winning MVP, and it will be Giannis Antetokounmpo, which is okay. I did want Zion to win, but there's nothing we could do about it. Aaron Stokes, Rookie of the Year, Scoot Henderson, 6-man, Wemby Defensive Player, Darren Peterson, Most Improved, Cade Cunningham, Clutch Player, our head coach, James Borrega, wins Coach of the Year, and the Thunder are going to win Executive of the Year. Now let's see if we get ourselves any more awards here. So nobody on an All-NBA first team, but Zion makes it on an All-NBA second team. And no more All-NBA awards, but we do also land Ausar Thompson on an All-Defensive first team. That's what I'm talking about. We ended this season as the number 1 seed, winning a total of 62 games and losing only 20. Before we start simulating the playoffs, let's go ahead and take a look at team and player stats. So our leading scorer was none other than Zion Williamson, averaging 31 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 steal, and 1 block on 50, 40, 89 shooting splits. And this season he made a total of 251 3-pointers. Amazing season by Zion. 23 a night from Trey Murphy, 18.5 from Jeremiah Fears, 11 Ausar Thompson, and 11 from Josh Hart. Let's also take a look at team offensive rating. So we had ourselves the 3rd best offensive rating this year, and we also had the 4th best defensive rating. So our defense wasn't as good as it was last year, but still amazing season. We were making about 14.7 3-pointers a game. Let's see how many 3-pointers Trey Murphy III made. Last year, he made a total of 400 3-pointers, and this year, not 400, but still amazing, 363 3-pointers from Trey Murphy III. And now it is time for the playoffs, and in the first round, we are taking on the Portland Trailblazers. They've got themselves Ja Morant, Scoot Henderson, Deni Avdija, Tamani Kamara, and Donovan Clingan. Confusing part that the Blazers trade for Ja Morant is I'm not sure how they're going to run Ja Morant and Scoot Henderson together. Are they planning on benching Scoot Henderson for the foreseeable future? Because I don't think these two would be able to run point guard and shooting guard. They're way too undersized and not good defenders. But let's see what happens here. Well, first I got to fix up the player minutes and then we'll get to simulating. Alrighty, let's go ahead and start simulating here and see what happens. Game number 1, we do end up winning. Trey Murphy 31, 25 Zion, 17 and 13 from Yves Misi. Game number 2, we also end up winning. In this game, Trey Murphy went off for 43 points, hitting 10 3-pointers. Ausar Thompson 27 and 27 from Zion Williamson. Game 3, we do fall short, 123 to 109. Zion had 29, 18 Trey Murphy, 12 and 10 from Jeremiah Fears. Game number 4, we bounce back with a win, 142 to 125. Zion dropping 39 points, 35 from Trey Murphy, and 22 from Jeremiah Fears. We go on a gentleman's sweep, the Portland Trailblazers. Trey Murphy has been playing phenomenal, hitting a total of 9 3-pointers, 35 points, 32 Zion, 23 and 13 from Jeremiah Fears. Throughout the first round of the playoffs, Trey Murphy is going off, averaging 32 points per game, shooting nearly 60% from the field. Let's see how Zion has been doing. He's averaging amazing numbers as well, 30 points, 4 rebounds, and 5 assists. Now in the second round, we do have ourselves the Minnesota Timberwolves. We were able to defeat them last year, and hopefully we're able to do so once again. They've got themselves LaMelo Ball, Anthony Edwards, Jaden McDaniels, Mamu, and Rudy Gobert, and this here is their bench unit. Let's see how things go. Game number 1, we do end up winning. Zion 28, 11, and 6, 19 Murphy, 16 Thompson. Game number 2, we also end up winning. Trey Murphy 26, and where's Zion? He had himself a total of 19 points. He is kind of struggling from the 3-point line here in the playoffs, but he should be able to pick that up here shortly. Game number 3, we also get the win. Fears 28, 22 Zion, and 18 Murphy. All we have to do now is win one more game, and then we are going to the Western Conference Finals, and we end up sweeping the Minnesota Timberwolves. Trey Murphy with 36, 34 and 10 from Zion, 19 from Jeremiah Fears, and just like that, we make the Western Conference Finals where we're taking on the San Antonio Spurs. They've got themselves the same lineup: De'Aaron Fox, Castle, Vassell, Champagny, and Victor Wembanyama. But this year, Dylan Harper is up to a 91 overall, and he's still coming off their bench unit as a 6-man. This year, this team is definitely going to be more difficult than last year when we pushed them to a Game 7 because their players have gone up in overall a ton. Wemby is a 99 overall. They have 3 90 overall players. Game number 1, thankfully we end up winning. Zion with 28, 10 and 5, 17 Queen, and 16 from Fears. Game number 2, we also secure the win. We win game 3, and we just really swept the San Antonio Spurs. Whoa. 23 Fears, 19 Trey Murphy, and 19 from Zion Williamson. In the NBA Finals, we're either going to have to take on the Miami Heat or the Boston Celtics, and it will be the Heat. Giannis Antetokounmpo winning Eastern Conference Finals MVP, and Zion Williamson Western Conference Finals MVP, 26, 7, and 6, 2 steals, 1.5 block per game. That means in the NBA Finals, we are taking on the Miami Heat, and they have themselves Brendan Pajemski, Benedict Mathurin, Andrew Wiggins. I was about to say Andrew Nembhard there, but I remember the comments y'all been leaving. I accidentally be calling him Andrew Nembhard all the time, but Andrew Wiggins, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and Bam Adebayo. Let's see how things go here in the NBA Finals. Game number 1, we do end up losing. 127-113, Bam played amazing, and so did Giannis with a 18-point triple-double, even though he barely took any attempts. But I think we could bounce back here. Let's see what happens in game 2, and thankfully we bounce back, winning this game 127-112. Trey Murphy has been a big factor for us making it this far and continuing to make it far. He's playing amazing, 27 points per game. Zion had himself a 29-point double-double. Game 3, we fall short. Okay, 122-120. Trey Murphy played good, so did Zion. And now it's time to come up with a defensive coach game plan. I have come up with a defensive coach game plan. Let's see if that'll help us out here. We'll jump into Simcast for the next few games. The Heat do have home court advantage here, and we start off the first quarter pretty strong, but they do push back in the second quarter. We have the lead, back and forth battle. Can we win this game? And we do end up winning, and it goes 2-2. The series is tied now at 2-2 apiece. Zion Williamson had 32, 31 Trey Murphy, and 18 from Jeremiah Fears. Series is tied at 2-2 apiece. Let's continue jumping into Simcast for the next few games. We do have home court advantage for game 5. Can we go out there and secure this win? So far we have the lead, and it looks like we do end up winning 137-104, and Jeremiah Fears going off for 36 points. Zion with 30, 28 Trey Murphy, and 12 from Amen Thompson. Let's go again, Simcast game 6, see what happens here. The Heat have home court advantage. Back and forth battle, we have the lead, and it looks like we're going to win 122-120. Trey Murphy 30, 27 Zion, and 22 from Asar Thompson. And just like that, we go on to win the New Orleans Pelicans a championship, with Zion Williamson winning Finals MVP, averaging 27 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, 2.5 steals, 1 block on 50, 35, 91 shooting splits. We are going to run it back another season and see if we could win ourselves a back-to-back championship. Even if we're not able to win a back-to-back chip, we could see how Zion continues playing in the regular season and maybe even win him a MVP. Here are the player stats throughout the playoffs, where we played a total of 19 games. The leading scorer was actually Trey Murphy, averaging 28 points, and then Zion was averaging 27, 6, and 5, 1.5 steal, and 1 block per game. 18 Jeremiah Fears, and 13 Asar Thompson. Then here are the NBA final stats. The goal I'm going to set for this coming season is to win Zion Williamson his first ever MVP. It's definitely going to be difficult because in this season, 27-28, he was playing amazing. He still did not win an MVP, but hopefully next year we could win him it. For team player options, we are going to pick up the team option for both Jeremiah Fears and Derek Queen. I don't know if there's anyone we have to re-sign this offseason, so it looks like we do need to re-sign ourselves. Yves Misia, we'll give him the qualifying offer, and we should have bird rights on him, which we do. He wants about $12 million in free agency. How much money do we have here to spend? We do have about $14 million we could spend on a player. Now comes a very tough decision for us to make. So Yves Misia is an 81 overall, and he wants $13 million. All these players above him are higher overall than him, and they want less money than he does. Like, we can get Zubac, who's an 84 overall, for about $7.5 million. So I think we're going to give up on Yves Misia and bring in Avia Zubac. We'll offer him a 4-year deal, paying him about $10 million annually. And does he accept? Yes, he does. So we get ourselves Avia Zubac on a 4-year, $43 million contract. I am about to make a trade this offseason, which some of you may consider a questionable trade, but I feel like Derek Queen is way too undersized to be a center. In today's day and age, you need some big centers on your team, and he's only 6'9", whereas Derek Lively II is a 7'1" big man that we could put on Wemby whenever we're going up against that challenge. So we're going to pull off this trade with the Bulls, sending them Derek Queen for Derek Lively II. We're here at the start of this season, and in our starting lineup, we got ourselves Jeremiah Fears, Trey Murphy, Asar Thompson, Zion Williamson, and Avia Zubac. Off the bench, we have Josh Hart, Derek Lively, Grayson Allen, and Brendan McCoy running a 9-man rotation. And now I'll see you all at the end of this season where hopefully we're able to win Zion an MVP and also a back-to-back championship. There's only one game remaining to our season, and Zion Williamson is the runner-up to winning MVP at place number 1. Will he be able to win? Let's see. Let's go ahead and simulate the last game and see what happens. And yes, he will. So at the end of this season, Zion Williamson goes on to win his first ever MVP, averaging 29 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 steal, and 1 block per game on 50, 40, 90 shooting splits. Amazing season from our boy Zion Williamson to go on to win his first ever MVP. CJ Kelly, Rookie of the Year, Josh Giddey, 6-Man, Wemby Defensive Player, Yang Hansen, Most Improved, Jason Tatum, Clutch Player, James Borrego, our head coach, wins Coach of the Year, and we also go on to win Executive of the Year. And of course, MVP Zion makes it on an All-NBA first team. Will we have any more awards here? And let's take a look. No one on an All-NBA team, but we should get somebody here on an All-Defensive team, and yes, we do. So we land ourselves Asar Thompson on an All-Defensive first team. We ended this season as the number 1 seed, winning a total of 66 games and losing only 16. Another amazing season in the books from our team, and now let's go ahead and take a look at team and player stats before we see if we're able to win a back-to-back championship. So of course, our leading scorer was MVP Zion Williamson, averaging 29 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 steal, and 1 block per game on amazing shooting splits. Let's see how many 3-pointers he made this season. So he made a total of 227 3-pointers, less than last year, but still a lot of 3-pointers. 22 points Trey Murphy, 18 Jeremiah Fears, 12 from Asar Thompson, and 10 from Derek Lively. And for team stats, we had ourselves the second best offensive rating with the second best defensive rating and the best rating differential in the league, making about 14 3-pointers a game. And now in the first round of the playoffs, we are taking on the Memphis Grizzlies. They've got themselves Bennett Sturd, Cedric Coward, Jalen Wells, Cam Boozer, and Jalen Duren. Let's see how we do here. Game number 1, we do end up winning. Zion 38, 23 Thompson, and 19 from Fears. Game number 2, we also secure the win, and whoa, Zion Williamson dropping 56 points, hitting 5 3-pointers and 13 free throws. Amazing game from Zion. We do end up losing game 3, 151 to 111. Whoa, we just lost by 40 points. Our defense was awful. Let's see if we could bounce back here in game number 4. And yes, we can. We do win game 4, and Zion had himself a 36-point double-double. And we go on to gentleman sweep the Memphis Grizzlies. So far here in the playoffs, Zion is averaging 32 points, 5.5 rebounds, 4 assists on 50, 40, 90 shooting splits. How's the rest of the team doing? Jeremiah Fears 21, 20 Trey Murphy, and then 13 Asar Thompson, and 9 from Derek Lively. And now in the second round of the playoffs, we are taking on the San Antonio Spurs, and Dylan Harper has jumped up now to a 92 overall. They still have Stephon Castle, Vassell Champagnie, of course, Victor Wembanyama, and De'Aaron Fox as their 6-man. I did forget to mention, we are running Derek Lively as the starting center over Zubac. I feel like he just has been doing better, and his field goal percentage has been a lot better, so has his rim protection. Zubac is basically still getting the same amount of minutes, yeah, so they're both getting about 24 minutes a night. Now can we defeat the Spurs? Game number 1, we do end up winning. Zion 35, 26 Trey Murphy, 15 Thompson. I mean, we did defeat the Spurs for the last 2 years, so I wouldn't be surprised if we defeat them again for the 3rd time, but maybe I jinxed it because we going to lose game 2. Murphy 28, 23 Fears, but we end up losing 134 to 114. Game 3, we also end up losing. Perhaps I actually did just jinx it. I've now come up with the defensive coach game plan. Will that help us win this next game to tie up the series? Let's find out. The Spurs do have home court advantage, but we start off the first half pretty strong, and it looks like we are going to be winning, and the defensive coach game plan did work because we played pretty good defense here. Zion had himself 35, 30 Trey Murphy. Let's see how their team did though. Looks like basically their top 3 players still played good, but we played pretty good defense here on Harper. Steve is tied at 2-2 apiece. Let's jump into Simcast again for game 5, where we have home court advantage on our side. And so far we do have the lead. Can we keep it as a question? And yes, we can. 132 to 111, we end up winning. Trey Murphy going off for 39 points. Thompson with 34 himself. 19 and 10 from Jeremiah Fears. Where is our boy? So Zion actually fouled out in 18 minutes, but we still end up winning. We also win this next game here. Let's see and close out this series. Spurs do have the lead. We take it right back, and we end up eliminating the San Antonio Spurs 148 to 123. Zion had himself 38 points, 20 and 15 from Fears, and 29 Murphy. And once again, we're back in the Western Conference Finals. This year, we're taking on the Minnesota Timberwolves. They have themselves LaMelo Ball, Anthony Edwards, Ayo Dosunmu, Jaden McDaniels, and it looks like they actually got rid of Rudy Gobert, and now they have themselves Kel'el Ware, which obviously would be a really good addition to this team. Let's see how things go. Game number 1, we do end up losing. Zion had 44, but sadly we do fall short. The last 2 seasons, I believe we eliminated the Timberwolves, and hopefully we're able to do it once again. We also going to lose game number 2 by 1 single point. This is where I'm going to come up with a defensive coach game plan. Alrighty, a defensive coach game plan has been set. I feel like it will work out in our favor. Let's find out. The Timberwolves do have home court advantage. So far we have the lead here, and can we keep the lead? It looks like we can. 133 to 104. We end up winning. Zion dropping 36, 26 Murphy, 20 and 10 from Jeremiah Fears. We still have to win one more game to top the series here. Let's see what happens. Wolves home court advantage. And so far they do have the lead. We take it right back and forth battle, and now they have the lead, and it looks like we are going to lose by 3 points, by 1 single point. We almost came back, but sadly we're not able to win this game. And now we're down 3-1. It's going to be very difficult for us to come back, but it's definitely possible. I have adjusted some of our player shot tendencies depending on who's playing good and who's playing bad. We have home court advantage on our side. So far we have the lead, and we're up by quite a bit here. It looks like we are going to be winning. They almost came back in the 4th quarter. Never mind. We end up winning 134 to 119. Jeremiah Fears 31, 27 Murphy, 23 Zion. Minnesota Timberwolves are still up 3-2. Let's see if we're able to top this series. The Wolves will have home court advantage. And whoa, we start off the first half very strong. We're up by about over 40 points. Almost we're up by 50 points. I'm not sure how that happened, but we end up winning 147 to 89. Zion had himself 37, 27 Murphy, 24-11 from Jeremiah Fears, 20 and 10 from Thompson. Now it is time for Game 7. The Hawks have already made the NBA Finals, and hopefully we are able to do the same. We do have home court advantage, thankfully, for Game 7. Let's see what happens. So far we do have the lead, but it's still a pretty close game. We're up by about 10 minutes, 6 points, 10 points, 6 minutes remaining. And it looks like we will be winning this game unless somehow they come back, which they don't. 122 to 104. We end up coming back from a 3-1 deficit. Zion has 31, 20 Zubac, and 17 from Trey Murphy. Zion Williamson goes on to win Western Conference Finals MVP, averaging 29 points a night, and Jalen Johnson, Eastern Conference Finals MVP. That means we've got ourselves the Atlanta Hawks. They have themselves Kingston Flemings, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Dyson Daniels, Jalen Johnson, and Jalen Williams. This here will be their bench unit. Honestly, a pretty stacked team. Every player on their team is an 80 overall or above, and they of course have their star player in Jalen Johnson, but let's see what happens. They were the number 8 seed, so I'm not sure how they made it this far, but they did, so clearly they are a good team. They swept Giannis and the Heat. But let's go ahead and start simulating here. Game number 1, we do end up losing at 1 single point. Zion played amazing, so did Trey Murphy, but we do fall short. Game number 2, we end up winning. Game 3, we also end up winning. Game 4, they end up winning, and now the series is tied at 2-2 apiece. Let's go ahead and jump into Simcast for Game 5 here and see what happens. We do have home court advantage on our side, and so far the Hawks have the lead. We take it right back, and we end up winning 135 to 123. Zion going off for 38, 22-12 Zubac. I did raise Zubac a shot tendency, and ever since then he's been playing amazing. Let's see how many buckets he's been scoring. So yeah, ever since then he's basically been in double-digit scoring for us off the bench unit. And now we only have to win one more game against the Hawks, and we win ourselves a back-to-back championship. Hawks have home court advantage, and we start off the first half very strong, and we end up winning by 30 points, 135 to 105. Zion had himself 40, 30 Trey Murphy, and 18 from Fears. And just like that, we go on to win the New Orleans Pelicans a back-to-back championship, with Zion Williamson winning Finals MVP, averaging 37 points per game, 5 rebounds, and 6 assists a night. That was an amazing playoff run, but before we end out this video, let me show you guys the player stats for the playoffs. So we played a total of 24 games, and in those 24 games, Zion Williamson was averaging 31, 6, and 5, 1.5 steal, 1 block on 47% from the three-point line, and he made a total of 68 three-pointers here in the playoffs. 25 Trey Murphy, 19 Jeremiah Fears, 12 Asar Thompson, 11 from Zubac. In the NBA Finals, where we played a total of 6 games, the leading scorer was Zion Williamson, averaging 37 points a game. 22 from Trey Murphy, 20 from Jeremiah Fears, and 13 from Zubac. And in the NBA Finals, Zion Williamson was hitting about 4 3-pointers a night, which is absolutely amazing. Now that is going to be it for today. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, please make sure to hit that thumbs up button, subscribe if you're new for more NBA 2K26 rebuilds, and click here on the screen to watch my latest upload. Until next time, it's your boy Dragon, and I'm out. Peace.